What's up everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we're going to talk about the new rule rather law they proposed under Trump administration about maximum duration of stay, which they're going to change for international students and some different visa types, and how this will impact you as a student. Let's get started. Alright, before we get into the video, I'm like super positive person, I'm super optimistic person, super hopeful person. This time I'm little scared if this rule get approved. Again, if this rule gets approved. I'm saying if because the rule is in proposed stage. There are many rules get proposed and not all of them gets approved. And I'm worried if this get approved, then what will it impact? Let me explain you what this rule is and then we'll talk more about it. I have a website up. I'm going to put the link in the description. If you want, go check it out. If you don't, just read this thing. I'll also put the titles over here. The title of the rule says establishing a maximum period of authorized stay for students, exchange visitors and media representative. The abstractor is saying that U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement will propose to modify the period of authorized stay for certain categories of non-immigrants traveling to the United States by eliminating the availability of duration of status. They put the inverted comma mine, and by providing a maximum period of authorized stay with options of extension for each applicable visa category. Okay, so you know, if you read at the bottom, it says a statement of need. The failure to provide certain categories of non-immigrants with specific dates for their authorized periods of stay can cause confusion on how long they may be lawful remain in the United States and has complicated the efforts to reduce overstay, blah 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 blah. Right. Okay. Now, if you don't know what that means, is basically, when you get your F1 student visa approved, typically you get for 5 years, right? It's from if like it's you get 5 years of student visa. So what they're saying is that technically you can graduate it in 2 years, but on visa it says that you have 5 years of visa, so it's kind of confusing. Is it can you stay 5 years, or do you get 5 years to complete your students of visa, to complete your education? So that's what they want to eliminate, and instead give you a maximum period of stay, which means they will say that you have 24 months, a bit, or maybe 36 months to complete your masters. And if for whatever reason you require to extend that, you need to file for an approval that you need to extend. It also says that that you will need approval for several states or transition you make in your college, which means if you're going from one college to different college, you will need an approval. If you're going from undergrad to graduate program, you will need an approval. If you are graduating and going for OPT, you will need an approval. So any kind, or if you graduate program was for 2 years and you happen to take a co-op program, and now your graduate program and your co-op program was 9 months, it increased your length of master's course, so that needs an approval. So every transition you make which can potentially increase your stay, maximum period of stay, you will need an approval from USCIS. Now all of this is fine. I'm not too afraid of how the rule is. I understand why they are making this rule. I understand the logic behind it. I understand that there must have been some people. I also read one article which says that there have been people who's been misusing this duration of status, and they've been staying where they were legally not permitted to stay. Now I understand why they're putting this in place. So if you're following everything by law, everything by rules, you will be totally fine. My biggest concern with this rule is the approval time. There's been stories that people have filed for their OPT and they haven't gotten OPT approval within 90 days. That's kind of scary, right? Like if you don't get an approval, then you need to go back and wait for your approval. That makes me more concerned than anything else. Like, sure, if they implement this rule, that will not impact as much as the approval time for your extension. That okay, you change your college and now you need an approval. I don't know how long that will take, and maybe you will have to pay some fees to get this thing, because every time you apply for OPT, we have to pay a fee. You have, if you want to apply for CPD, you have to pay for some fees. So I guess you don't have to apply for, I guess you don't have to pay for CPD. I don't know, I don't remember. But for OPD, you definitely have to pay for some fees. So maybe for this extension, you will have to pay some fees. And then there's this article which says that the additional $1,500 will be required if there is multiple extension approval needed. So, I just wanted to let you know that there is this rule. One is, don't worry, don't freak out. One, because it's in the proposed state. And two, if you are doing everything in a legal manner, if you're following the rules, if you don't do anything crazy, if you stay in your line, follow the rules, then you have nothing to worry about. Like, this rule is not to harm you. This rule is not going to affect you as long as you follow things. This rule might affect if it gets approved, and if the approval process takes longer. I'm hoping that it won't happen, but you never know. That's just my 2 cents on this new law. I'll link the link in the description. Let me know what you think. I'll keep bringing new videos, so if you want, like, share, subscribe. I don't say this often, but if you want to, for sure. I guess this is it for this video. See, I'm trying to make smaller videos. I know you've been complaining that I make long videos, so I'm trying to put it like under 10 minutes. But anyway, don't freak out. Don't worry, this is in a proposed state. Again, if you follow the rules, you'll be fine. I will see you guys in the next one. Keep smiling and keep hustling.